IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach podcast. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach, and happy Yoga Day. Today we're going to be talking about yoga and then beyond, because we're going to see how you can take your yoga practice, evolve it into a complete way of taking care of yourself, feeling young, taking care of your spine, and beyond. So with us, we have Sunaina Rekhi on the Habit Coach podcast. Sunaina, welcome to the Habit Coach podcast.
Thank you so much, Ashton. So lovely to be here. So grateful. Thank you.
My pleasure. And I've been waiting to do this podcast with you because I've heard that you've had a fantastic journey and I wanted to understand all about it. So, Sunaina, let's start right in the beginning. How did you start with yoga? Where did that come into your life?
I think, Ashton, I really believe everything comes into your life at a certain time when it just comes. First, it came as a physical practice for me when I was living in London. And then I think as I went deeper into it, I used it as it was my emotional practice. It was my time. And I remember using yoga. It was my savior. I was going through a lot at that time. I didn't understand so many things at that time. And it was like yoga, 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 yoga. And it was a little bit like it was a crutch in a way. And now me and yoga have a very different relationship. We are best friends. We are besties, like my daughter says.
I love it.
And yeah, we are best friends and we work with each other rather than, it's like you're just always running after something. So it's not like that anymore.
That's such an interesting thing because every time the first class that you go for in yoga, it always feels like such a struggle, right? Like you just said that it's so much force that you have to put into it. It's a struggle. And then like you're saying, now we become best friends. How did that journey take place? Like, did it happen over many, many, many years? Was it something that just fit?
So beautiful question. And I think I'm going to give you a beautiful answer for it.
Lovely.
Basically, when you're going through struggle in the pose, so imagine if you've gone through trauma in your life, right? When you go through trauma in your life, you don't want to know about it. You don't want to think about it later. You don't want anything to do with it. And that itself is the biggest problem of trauma. And when you go into classes, not just the poses, but like you said, when there's a struggle, you realize that struggle will end. You understand that the pose will end. So how you are struggling, you know it will end. And I think that part, that understanding of whatever you are going through, however hard it is, however much you're struggling, is going to end. And that, that's such a beautiful space that yoga offers. It's offered me that, and I offer that to all my students. It's that space.
Like you said, that struggle is ending. It's such a mental thing, actually, when you start thinking about it. And like we know that yoga right now, many people think of as a physical practice. Like you said, right? It starts off as a physical practice. What are things that people can do to quickly transition into making it, like you said, an emotional practice or a mental practice or those aspects of yoga? Because right now, when you go for your first class, it's all physical. You're wearing yoga pants, you're on this yoga mat. How do you turn it into something more mental, more emotional?
So I think, Ashton, at the end of the day, just getting to the yoga class is not physical.
Right.
I think itself is a mental practice. You need to be disciplined to wake up at 6 a.m, to go for the class. Whatever emotions you're going through, I honestly don't feel that there is any difference between my mind, my body, and my spirit. If I'm doing yoga, even as a physical practice, I am breathing, I'm connecting myself mentally, I'm creating more space in my mind. Even if I'm not thinking it that way, it's already happening. I'm already creating the space. So whatever reason you are going for it, it's fine. At the end of the day, we all reach that same place. You get what I'm saying? We are all, I don't ever think any practice is physical. I think every practice has a spirit involved. I mean, when you tell somebody to spend 5 minutes in a pose, yes, it is physical, but to break a physical boundary takes mental attitude. To break the mental tiredness takes the spirit. So it's all of that just a practice, you don't even think about it, but only when you practice. If you're a practitioner, can you know it? If you're not, people can't understand it. Like you rightly said, either you're just wearing yoga pants and they're off to the studio. It's not that way. Just for some people to even wear their yoga pants is a mental discipline. It takes a lot. So I really look at it that way, very holistically, that everyone's coming for a reason, and that reason should be taken care of for them.
Fantastic.
Might not be my reason. Why should I put my reason onto them?
Fantastic. And how do you make yoga a part of your life? Right. So apart from that class that you go to, or apart from that session that you take, how do you now make yoga a part of your everyday life through the rest of the 23 hours?
I think it's all about living yoga. It's all about whatever you're doing on the mat has to take you off the mat, because the mat is only 1 hour of your time. The rest is how are you working on it. And when I'm on the mat, that 1 hour on the mat, and if I've been feeling, stay very close down, and I'm just inhaling and exhaling it in. And I'm inhaling, it's like sometimes it just takes that one breath to go, that feeling. And you take that feeling with you. You take that energy with you. I do a lot of practices which create a lot of energy in my body and my organs. I work a lot on my liver and my lungs and my kidneys. I do a lot of work, and that's not just yoga. I do a lot of Chinese art, work on myself as well. And I can't tell you the health, the vitality, the energy that I feel all the time. I feel it. I know that I must be doing something right, that I feel that kind of energy.
Fantastic. What are these Chinese practices? Are these Qigong practices?
Yeah, Qigong, Tai Chi. I love them. And in those practices, it's very, very like spiritual. And I just love it. I love the tapping, and I get very, very, and it's a mixture of all these practices, which kind of creates this beautiful tapestry.
Lovely.
Which is the fabric of our living yoga. It's all these things. Like sometimes I'm in the kitchen and I could be doing something very, like we said, physical. I could be doing a core exercise, or I could be in the car and I could be doing a few twists or doing some breathing exercises while I'm in the traffic. So that's the physical part of it. Then if I've had a fight with somebody, or I'm feeling frustration, I'm feeling sad, I will use Ujjayi breath, which is a very ocean-like sound of breath. And I don't know how to breathe normally now, Ashdin. I breathe only in Ujjayi breath. It's like, you get so used to it. It's so calming and it's long. And then there are just times where you just have to be quiet. And there is this, and I'm not a person who likes to do a lot of sitting meditation. I like to close my eyes and just go very slowly into I like to move a little bit. That's my form of meditation. So yeah.
Fantastic.
And you take all of that everywhere with you.
And I love the way that you've incorporated all these other practices as well, like you said, Tai Chi, Qigong. Have you checked out Mantak Chia and what he does in terms of the Tai Chi and the Qigong? Oh, fantastic. It's so interesting seeing those practices. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. You send it to me after.
I'll send it to you. Fantastic listening to it. And you're right. So there's so many similarities across the board, right? How we think about prana, how we think about our chi and our danten, etc. Sunaina, you were telling me about...
Together, Ashdin, even you know it. We are going to practice this together.
We must. Done. Whenever you're back in Bombay, we must catch up. We must do it.
Definitely.
Sunaina, you were telling us before the podcast about spinal health. And I think spine is one of the most, it's like obviously the backbone of our body, but it is the thing that holds us up. And like in karate, when I was learning, they said that you're only as old as your spine. So what are the things that you're teaching in terms of spinal health for people?
Yeah, so basically I've had a long few years of chronic spinal pain myself, where I've degenerated everything. Spondylosis, spondylolisthesis, I've got everything. And they started when I was very young, and then it got exacerbated with movement. But I think I went around everywhere, Ashdin, for 6 years. Which physio, which chiro, which therapy, because I think when you have pain, you need therapy because you're feeling anxiety with 24 hours that you're feeling pain, and you do need therapy for it. So there were all these massages, Ayurveda, correct eating, and I was yoga class, meditation, but I was running helter skelter everywhere. And today I'm like, you know what? I'm going to help people with pain management, with all these modalities under one roof. And I'm going to get my help myself also.
Fantastic.
Because chronic pain is you have to work on it for the rest of your life. So it gives me my base. And then I have all of us as friends, as a community, working on pain together and releasing it to feel good.
So can you tell us a little bit about the spine, for example, and how do you all approach it? What are the things that you all do? What are the different kinds of pain people are living in currently when it comes to that?
So the back, I think 85% of the population really suffering. I think everyone I speak to, it's either there's a neck problem or there's a hip problem, lower back, hip. There are too many problems. There's sciatica running down the legs. It's running. I mean, I've met so many people going through so much because a lot of us are psychosomatic.
Correct.
If you're feeling it here, you're feeling it here. And if your body is not feeling it, then you're feeling it in your head, right? Your mind is connected to your body, but your body is connected to your mind. So I think a lot of people are going through it. And that's why I wanted to create something in, like I live in Bombay, so it has to be in Bombay, but I did need to create something which would just hit the spot, which would help people, And I think with the spine, like you said, is the backbone. If it's not there, you have to really work on strengthening it around. So we really work on the mind, we work on the body, really work on the spiritual part of it as well. I feel like when my back broke, so much of it was emotional.
Correct.
So much of it, like, financially or emotionally, physically. There was so much of stress that went into the backbone that is very important. And it takes years sometimes to remove all that. But at least we can start living a little bit less with pain. And I would want that for everyone because that's all I'm trying to do, live with less pain. And I think people who have pain would also want to live with less pain.
We're going to take a quick break. See you on the other side.
Hello, everybody. It's been another awesome, great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On the Filter Coffee podcast, Karthik speaks with actress Aditi Pohankar about the upcoming season 2 of her Netflix series, She. On Capgemini's Techipedia series, Sheila Aditya talks to Ashish Sharma, Senior Director of Automotive India, Capgemini Invent. They discuss the role of electric vehicles in promoting sustainability. On All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk discuss the ongoing negotiations between Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and the Pakistan Army. On Ek Chuski Finance, Priyanka lists down the 7 financial promises every bride and groom must make before getting married. And on the Hansvani, here's the story Mukti. It explores the many social prejudices faced by women. We got some exciting news for you. IVM Podcast has just launched its merch line and you should check it out now. Head over to the IVM Podcast website, that's ivmpodcast.com, and click on the shop tab to check out our first collection of t-shirts. Also, do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. That really does help. Don't forget to rate us on any of the platforms you're listening to us on. And also do remember, you can check out a number of our shows on YouTube. You can go to ivmpodcast.com/YouTube to get a list of the channels that we are keeping active. We also are doing a small listener survey. If you can go to ivmpodcast.com/survey to fill this out, it'll just take a few minutes and it really helps us out. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, SBI Life Insurance, Apne Liye, Apno Ke Liye. Jupiter, a digital banking app. Capgemini, get the future you want. Intel vPro, built for business. And Intel, future but now wonderful with Intel-powered laptops.
Welcome back. All right, let's jump into the conversation.
So how would you start the process of healing yourself emotionally from something like this, right? Like when people come to you and they say that, I'm getting pain in my back, how would you first take care of all the psychosomatic symptoms? Like, would you suggest them go to a therapist? Are there practices that you all do every day? Are there any habits that people can follow?
Yes, definitely. And I do therapy because I'm a psychotherapist as well. So
wow.
I do therapy as well. Yeah, it's enjoyable. I think I feel that I can just get them. When I was young also, I could just, like, every girl would come whether it was to learn about something or it was about boys or Sunaina, tell us. Like, and I was like, I knew I would love it. And it's always been a part of my gig, I think, and what you teach, even habits. I think habits is such an important part of living a better, pain-free existence, waking up at the same time or sleeping at the same time or eating food at a certain time is also very important for a lot of. I'm not saying that that's the way everyone has to be. I think everybody has a different way. Like for me, I don't do breakfast, lunch, dinner like that.
Okay.
It's not like I eat when I'm hungry. I don't eat when the time comes. I eat when the body gives me the time to eat. But that again is a habit, which is a good thing. Whatever
and
your
did it
habit
take a
is,
while to do that? To listen to your body to be able to do it? Did it take a while to tune yourself into it?
yes, so right. It takes a while because you have to become so aware. And I think, with this spinal condition that I have, Ashton, the way I walk, the way I have to hold, I can't sit for long periods. Whatever I'm doing, I am so aware. I've become so aware of this pain that has made me such a good teacher because of that, I feel, like I can. Earlier, people used to say, oh, Sunaina, please, I've had a slip disc before. And I'll be like, okay, then. But I was talking just because I'd learned it. A
Correct.
teacher had taught it to me. Today, it's like I'm a mechanic. I can feel it. I can feel what they're feeling because I feel it. I can feel them.
And I think that's the best part of it, right? Once you work on yourself or change an aspect of your life, you know exactly what is needed in that. Like there was a fantastic coach who had come on the podcast who said that you have to learn, do, and then teach, right? Once you do it and actually go through the whole process, and like you said, you've done it on yourself, that's when you can actually pass it on and teach other people about it and help them with their life. Fantastic.
Yeah, of course.
So, Sunaina, so this is a center that you started in Bombay for the spine, or how do people come in?
So the center is it's in Bandra.
Okay.
And it's starting, I'm getting my next batch coming in August.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's a very, very interesting one. And I also have another center, which is in Bandra, which is stunning. It's like you come to stay there and we create wellness retreats for you. So those are self-care retreats that I create for them. And it's VIP. There's nothing like that right now in India. I've never seen that anywhere in the world, actually. I've never seen this. But it's like this 2-bedroom. What I'm creating is I'm creating this wellness retreat for people to come. The self-care staycation. They come, chill, like a day could look like a sunrise yoga session, afternoon massage therapy, and journaling, a lot of things like I'm doing cooking or whatever they want to create, the activities. And they create this retreat with me. So in terms of what they need and what we offer, we create this for them for 3 days or 5 days or 7 days, and they can come and be at Sunaina stays.
What a fun thing. A bespoke wellness retreat, right? You decide what kind of things you want to do in it. Fantastic. It's in Bandra. We must meet. I'm in Bandra as well. So
you have to come.
Done for sure. When you're back, we can definitely do this. Are there certain pillars that are necessary for a wellness lifestyle that you teach? Like, what are the various aspects of a wellness lifestyle, if I had to ask you?
I think it's like the state of mind is the most important. So that state of mind, however you do it, is your thing. So whether you go into nature, whether you travel, whether you do some physical exercise, but the pillars are really, for me, the pillars, if I look at a day, I have to think, okay, what am I doing for myself physically? So am I doing a fitness class? Am I doing a massage? Am I doing a facial? Am I doing a manicure? It's my physical work. What am I doing for myself mentally? Like for me, I spend many hours just learning. I love learning. I love it. So that's my mental space. If I'm working with emotions, there's so many times I'm learning also from YouTube. I'm learning about emotions. I'm learning about how to deal with my daughter if she's a teenager, how to do this. There are emotions involved. And that's my emotional therapy that is happening every single day, like a spiritual, whether I'm reading something from the Bhagavad Gita, whether I am just doing meditation, what is my spiritual practice? So every day you need to go your environmental practice. Am I in nature? Am I in water? I love the water. I love the nature. For me, that's why I'm living half my time now in Bombay and half my time in Goa, because It is, I need to be in the ocean. I need it. And that I've understood that that's for my well-being. It might not be for someone else, but it is for me.
Correct.
So yeah.
Saltwater does wonders for our vibes, right? Like just to make us relax and get our energy back. I think getting into the sea makes such a big difference. Yeah. Fantastic. Sunaina Rekhi, Fit at 40, right? You started this Fit at 40 Fridays. Tell us about that. How is this whole aging and anti-aging thing that you are working towards?
I think it started, Ashdin. I was living in South Africa.
Okay.
And I was born in Germany. I lived in South Africa. I studied in London, and I was in all these continents. And what happened? Whenever I saw women in South Africa, I remember living in Durban, and they'll be in their bikinis. And I remember my dad will be checking them out from behind, and my mom will, jokingly be like, "Who are you checking?" And then that woman, beautiful body from behind. And then she'll turn around, and she's an old woman, She must be 65, 70, whatever. They were so good the way they maintained themselves, because in their mind, they never had anything that they've aged. And then I came to India, and I see a lot of women, oh, we are pregnant, or this will happen. Oh, we are married now, and they're a certain way. And oh my God, I can't do this. I'm 40 now. I can't. And it was really, I never understood it. I didn't understand it, because we are all childlike, and we all have that, and we all have that zest for life. And I think it's not even about what creams I use. It's having a childlike sense of adventure and wonder in your life that makes you look young. If I was behaving like an auntie, I would be that. I would activate that for the other person to see me like that, because that's how I see myself. So if I see myself as old, you will also see me as old. You only see me as young because I see me as young. Oh my God, what a quote.
I love it.
Yeah.
Instantly quoted. Love it. You see me as young because I see me as young. Done. Fantastic. Sunaina, last question. What are 3 habits that you are most proud of in your life that you managed to create?
My 3 habits. I think I'm most proud that I'm able to really take care of all these parts, physical, mental. I'm able to do that. I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the habit. It's not a habit, but I'm so hardworking that I'm so proud of that, because I know that nothing will ever happen to me. There is this sense of knowing that if everything else fails, I will not fail. There is a very innate thing in me, because I know how to work. I am not lazy. And that gives me a lot of confidence. I'm like, chuck, 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 all the time, I think I'm very proud of that. And I think I'm also very proud of, it's not a habit, but I'm a multitasker, and a lot of people have these, you can't multitask, and that's not good. But I think as women, you have to. I think there's nothing called you can't. I don't have a man. I don't have anything. I have to run a house. I have to run a business. I have to run so many things. I have a daughter. I have a dog. I have to have dinner. I have to make dinner. How do I not multitask? If I don't multitask, I will get no work done. So while I'm driving, I'm like, could be hearing an amazing podcast, because that's something I'm learning with. Or if I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking, I could be wearing a face mask and cooking. People think that they have to take so much time to create self-care habits. In your normal day-to-day, one time I was cooking pasta with cream and all, and there's a video on Instagram, and I'm taking Amul cream. And while I'm taking the Amul cream, I'm putting it on my face. And I'm like, while this cooking is happening, my face getting all stunning at the same time.
Love it.
So yeah, I love it.
Fantastic. Okay, so in fact, that is actually a habit technique. Do one habit and another on top of it. So like you said, multitasking, habit stacking, very good technique to have. Lovely. Sunaina, thank you so much for coming on the Habit Coach podcast. How can people get in touch with you? How can people reach out to you for all these fantastic things that you're doing?
Yes, my Instagram first. My website is still being made because so many things are coming up.
Fantastic.
But my Instagram, Sunaina_Rekhi. And my email, you can email me and let me know what you're looking for.
Done.
And you can see Sunaina Stays on Airbnb as well. It's on Airbnb, so you can book on Airbnb.
So the wellness retreat is on Airbnb? That's the
No,
place
it's Sunaina Stays. You can stay there without the wellness retreat. And if you want to do the wellness retreat at Sunaina Stays, you can contact me.
Okay, fantastic. Sunaina, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, Ashdin. Thank you for having me. You were lovely. Mwah.
Big hug and see you when you're here.
Yes, in Bandra.
Done.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am at Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. We have a brand new habit coaching online course, quizzes, videos, and a lot more on the website awesome180.com. So check it out now.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.
Namaste, this is Cyrus Brocha. I am part of the government cancel culture program to remove rubbish off all the different streams available. So what we have is all the collected rubbish we put together on our show. It's called Cyrus Says. It's on IVM Podcast. You have to watch it and listen to it. It's on our app. It's on our website. It's on the YouTube channel. It's on Facebook. There are many different ways. Don't bother me and ask me how. You have to find out. We talk to different personalities. Many of them are known. Some are just people we meet downstairs and invite them up for chai. But the point is, it's fun and it's very therapeutic. So please join in and listen to Cyrus Says.